What is up, guys? Welcome to the first crypto channel, the most savage, degenerate crypto channel out there. My name's Chaos Chris, and I'll be your host today. Before we hop into this video, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on bell notifications so we keep you guys up to date with the latest and greatest information in this space. With that being said, let's hop right into this video. So today, I have a very special project, as always, for all you degenerates out there. The name of this project is Pulsechain. Today, I want to give you guys a brief overview of what the project is, how you can get into Pulsechain early, discuss the main exchange on this new project, and give you guys my overall thoughts about how I think this project will perform in this upcoming year. So with that being said, let's take a little look at Ruski. So for those of you who do not know what Pulsechain is a fork of the Ethereum blockchain that has been created by Richard Hart and his developer team. The idea of forking the entire Ethereum blockchain is so that a majority of the load can be taken over to Pulsechain and assist with the scalability issues on the Ethereum blockchain. And basically what Pulsechain does is it takes the best components of Ethereum, adds a few really main components like proof of stake to improve the transaction speed, the scalability, and the overall security of the blockchain. And by doing this, it gives many users on the Ethereum blockchain an alternative option besides Ethereum. So today I kind of want to take a little look at the main website and go over some of the main points behind this blockchain and just give you guys the meat and the cheese. I don't really want to dive in too much into the details because there's a lot behind this project. There's a lot of videos out there in the community. I will say Pulsechain and the Hex community are some of the strongest communities that you'll ever find out there in crypto. So if you come here to pulsechain.com and you just scroll down just a little bit, you can kind of see right here the sacrifice phase. One thing I want to mention to every single one of you guys, please do not sacrifice for Pulsechain. The sacrifice phase is over. Any amount of money that you sacrifice will result in a very few amount of points, which means basically you're not going to get that much of an airdrop once Pulsechain launches. So it's actually more beneficial for you to wait for Pulsechain to launch and buy in. But just want to make that clear before we kind of hop into this video. Also, I'm definitely not capable of giving financial advice. This video is for information and education purposes only, and also in entertainment. So kind of just rolling down right here. So Pulsechain goals. So these goals will pretty much outline the overall direction of the project, what it's trying to do. Keep in mind, Pulsechain is a fork of Ethereum. So by saying the goals right here, it's just going to tell you how does it differentiate between Ethereum. Because when we look at these new projects, the one thing we really want to look at is that kind of special sauce, that special component of the project that differentiates between all the other projects. Because if you have a copycat, like for example, the Tomb Forks, then chances are they're probably not going to be successful. Anytime you have a very invasive and very special project, it always blows up because they have one component that's very different from the rest of them. So starting with the first point, one of the main goals of Pulsechain is to increase Ethereum's value. So as all you guys know, and as I have stated in past videos, Ethereum has a lot of issues. I mean, they have for the most part pretty good security, but the one thing that it really lacks is that scalability and the transaction fees. As y'all know, the transaction fees on Ethereum are just redonkulous. And when I mean redonkulous, I'm talking like, and sometimes you have to pay anywhere from $50 to $200, which is completely unacceptable. It's very damaging to the crypto community, and this is something that Ethereum needs to answer right away with their upcoming new launch of a new project. I believe it's not Ethereum 2.0 anymore. They actually changed the name a little bit and moved back the date. So really hoping they get out the new blockchain. But I'm digressing. Let's hop right back to what we mainly want to talk about. So with the launch of Pulsechain, what they're going to do is they're going to create a bridge. And you can basically take any of your ERC20 tokens on Ethereum, bridge it over to Pulsechain. Basically, what this allows is, a lot of these projects that are trapped on Ethereum, it gives them the option to come over to the Pulsechain. And by doing so, it's going to take a little bit of the load off of Ethereum. And as the load on the Ethereum blockchain decreases, this will improve the transactions fees. It'll also improve the overall speed, and will actually make the blockchain run a lot more fluidly. But the one downside of it is, you're going to have less people using the blockchain, which means the overall value of the token is going to go down. So definitely want to keep that in mind, but definitely really cool. Next one, enrich Ethereum users. Pulsechain will re-enable price out use cases instead of launching empty. Pulsechain bridges the Ethereum system state and ERC20s. This rewards holders and founders of Ethereum-based projects. So right when Pulsechain launches, it's going to basically take the coding for every single project from Decentraland to Uniswap to Shiba Inu to Stratos, whatever project that is on the Ethereum blockchain, and it's going to copy it over to Pulsechain. And so basically the coding and the overall project will be on the Pulsechain. So basically, if you have a copy of the ERC20 on Ethereum, well, excuse me, if you have an ERC20 on the Ethereum blockchain, you're going to have a copy of that, and it's going to be called a PRC20 for Pulsechain on the Pulsechain. So basically, you're getting free crypto, and this is going to be the largest airdrop in the history of crypto, which means any of you guys who have ERC20 tokens, please, please, please get it off centralized exchange, because you're not going to be eligible for the airdrop for anything on centralized exchange, and put into wallets where you own the keys to. So that could be Elliptial wallet, that could be MetaMask wallet, that can be Atomic wallet. Any wallet that has an Ethereum-based application will give you access to your PRC20s, because there's going to be a massive copy and an airdrop straight to you. So definitely take advantage of this. And, when you see kind of like a little bit dip in the overall market, this might be your chance to, get some of these ERC20s on exchange, send it to your wallet, and just leave it there for the Pulsechain airdrop. And there's also going to be a very, very special utility / use case component for each one of those tokens, which I'll kind of explain towards the end of this video. Now, easy to use, your MetaMask wallet just works. You only have to change a single setting to access Pulsechain. Ethereum holders can transact for free with freemium Pulse. So basically, when Pulsechain launches, you're also going to get free Pulse for every Ethereum coin that you hold, and I believe that's going to be 1-to-1. So the idea is, that's not going to be a lot of Pulse, to be honest, to be straight up honest with you, because the price, the overall supply of Pulse is supposed to be 10,000 times more than the supply of Ethereum, which I'll have to double check, but I think that's true. And so the idea is, anyone that holds Ethereum on that blockchain will basically get free Pulse. And if you want to convert any of your tokens from Ethereum to Pulsechain, then you have the tokens to pay for the gas fee, which is very genius, because one thing that you're going to see on your crypto journey is when you try to get onto a new blockchain, there's a lot of struggles and ins and outs and hula hoops that you have to jump through. And, for example, I had to get on Phantom, and, I had to go to a centralized exchange, sign up for that centralized exchange, buy the Phantom there, send it over to my MetaMask wallet, go through a bridge. And it's this whole process that you have to go through. But already having that Pulse for anyone that owns Ethereum ready to go on your MetaMask wallet or whatever wallet you own the keys to, gives you a step up into converting all your ERC20s over to the Pulsechain if you choose to do so. So basically, it's absolutely brilliant, and make sure you take full advantage. Not financial advice, but definitely take full advantage of that opportunity. Lower Pulsechain fees and serve more users. Pulsechain increases the throughput of Ethereum 4 times by using 3-second block times. Ethereum's average block time is around 13 seconds. So The reason why Pulsechain is basically going to have a quicker block time approval at 3 seconds in comparison to 13 seconds is because when they copy the entire Ethereum network and well basically fork it, instead of having that proof of work mechanism, they actually added proof of stake to it already. So it's not the same as Ethereum 2.0 or whatever the name is, but basically adding that proof of stake will decrease the amount of energy usage to farm or yield more pulse chain tokens, and it also increases the overall speed and the block approval on the blockchain. So overall, it just makes it a more efficient blockchain. Remove pollution. By replacing proof of work miners with proof of stake validators, Pulsechain doesn't burn waste any energy, making it environmentally friendly. So something I just covered, proof of stake is definitely the new um, baseline for blockchains. Proof of work is starting to get phased out. There's very few blockchains that use proof of work. So definitely keep in mind when you invest in these projects, when you go to proof of stake, it's going to be a much more efficient blockchain, and there's going to be, it's also going to be energy efficient. But also just keep in mind with those proof of stake blockchains, you got to be careful with inflation because, when you stake some of these coins and the blockchain doesn't have a deflationary mechanism, then there's a good chance that the price might get gouged due to inflation. In this case, Pulse Chain is going to be deflationary. So because it's deflationary, it's going to have this up and the right movement that is very, very similar to Hex. So that's also another big plus. But there's also other blockchains that suffer from inflation, like Atom and et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to expose anyone, but you kind of get the idea where I'm going with this. Improve game theory. Pulsechain has 0% inflation. Validators only earn fees, and 25% of fees are burnt to reduce the circulating supply. So anytime you pay a gas fee, it's going to be used to pay validators. And so that's anyone who's staking the token that basically forms a validator, and the validator is used to approve blocks. And so part of that fee is going to be used to burn the Pulse token right away. Now, keep in mind, Ethereum did not have a burn mechanism until recently. I believe it was the London hard fork is when they introduced that deflationary mechanism where, anytime a miner approves a block and you have to pay that massive fee, a certain amount of Ethereum is burnt. Now, that wasn't always the case right when Ethereum was first introduced and launched. Now, with Pulsechain, since it's launching from its beginning, it's actually adding this deflationary mechanism right off the bat, which is definitely very revolutionary. And because it's adding it right off the bat, you're going to see the overall supply of Pulse decrease rapidly over time. And so this also adds that deflationary component, makes the overall price go up and to the right, just like Hex, and makes it a very, very valuable product if you're trying to use crypto as a store of value and basically grow your overall wealth during these crazy financial times. Empower Pulse chain holders. Pulse chain native tokens Pulse can be staked and delegated to validators that reward the delegators with the largest percentage of fees. So kind of already covered this. I always encourage anyone who gets into any of these projects, consider staking, farming, finding ways to earn crypto by making your money work for you. And, with inflation at an all-time high right now, and since like the past about 40 years, you definitely want to find innovative ways to definitely grow your bag, increase your overall net worth, and try to maintain some of those savings from like your 9-to-5 job or whatever you do, so that you don't get eaten up by these by inflation and these crazy financial times. Now, the one thing I will say, I discussed a little bit of the bridging, ETH and Pulse Chain. You can send ETH to the Pulse Bridge contract on ETH, which locks it and issues PETH on Pulsechain at a 1-to-1 ratio. This is something that you see with a lot of these coins. Like, you can have Bitcoin on Ethereum, or you can have it on Binance Smart Chain blockchain, so BNB. So the idea is, you can take that Ethereum, send it to a bridge, and at that bridge, that Ethereum stays on the Ethereum blockchain. It creates a copy of itself that's transferred onto the Pulse chain, and it still maintains that same value that was from the Ethereum blockchain, and you can use that to swap for tokens. So it's basically trying to create this innovative way of transferring all your assets from the Ethereum blockchain to the Pulse chain blockchain. Pulse on Ethereum, you can send Pulse to the ETH bridge, contract on Pulse chain, which locks it and issues ePulse on the Ethereum blockchain 101. This can also work for ERC20s. So it's basically doing the same thing from the Pulse chain to the Ethereum blockchain. And the reason why you can go back is so that anyone who wants to go back to the Ethereum blockchain and take their Pulse, convert it to Ethereum, send it to Coinbase, and then just cash out into your bank account. This makes it a quicker way to take profits on this token. But we'll definitely see some sort of fiat, some sort of way to convert straight from Pulse chain to fiat. That's something that Richard Hart really wants the community to develop. But in the early stages, you're probably going to have to do what we're going to call the old school way. But sooner or later, it's going to get easier and easier and easier. Keep in mind, when you try to get into Pulse chain, right when it launches, it's going to be very, very difficult because you got to go straight from Ethereum to Pulse chain. As of right now, there's probably not going to be any bridge from like BNB and other blockchains, but I definitely know that the developers will have bridges out in the future to other blockchains. But just keep in mind, you're going to have to go from Ethereum to the Pulse chain, and then from the Pulse chain back to Ethereum. So it's going to be a little bit of a process. You might have to eat some gas fees when you're taking profits, but the most difficult projects that you try to get into in the beginning end up being the biggest rewards, because when it becomes more accessible, more and more people will jump in. And as more and more people jump in, then the overall price will grow. So you definitely want to be there before that massive wave of money comes through. So I kind of gave you guys a little bit of a breakdown of the overall Pulse chain project. It's definitely a very, very fluid project. They raised so much money for the SENS project. I think it was about $25 million. And the SENS research does a lot of work on, diseases and aging. And it's definitely a great charity and foundation that's going to be used to really, really help mankind and an overall species. Now, the next thing I kind of want to come over here is talking about, the up and coming Pulse chain launch. So this was launched a few weeks ago. It talks about validators and staking, and it gives you an idea of what the validators and staking page is going to look like. And you come over here to active stakes, and there's going to be a list of all the stakes down here. There's going to be a list of validators that are going to be used to approve the blocks. And so far, the average time is about 3 seconds. And then there's going to be validator registration, where, if you want to become a validator and have people take their pulse and put it into your validation pool, this is where you can do it. And then there's the rules and frequently asked questions. So what I really like about this page is it already has like a little section where it just gives you all the information and all the questions that everyone always has. And it breaks down how the validators will work. It gives kind of limits, like, for example, a maximum of 33 validators in rotation at any given time. No limit to the number of registered validators. There's no refundable deposits required for validator rotation. At the time of registration, validators determine what their revenue share with stakers will be in a simple percentage form of 0% to 100%. So I kind of ran through that a lot and need a little break it down a little bit. So the idea is, with these validators, what Richard Hart and his team are trying to do is create some sort of competition. So he's giving a lot of free reign to all these validators and these like pool operators, kind of like using ADA terms. And the idea is, if you want more and more people to join your validation pool, then you have to incentivize them to give them more profits. So let's say, I have my validator pool, and my buddy Trent, who also has videos on this project, has his own validator pool. My goal is to get more and more people to jump in my validator pool. So if he has a 5% return to anyone who's in his pool, then I'm probably going to be incentivized to do a 10%. And so this gives you an idea of creating this nice little competition so that whoever runs these validator pools are not going to be drunk with power and try to take all the profits they get from the gas fees and the payout they get for approving these blocks. So that's definitely a little bit of a breakdown. Please come here and check out, the Pulsechain validators and staking. It's definitely a really, really cool website. And if you can kind of familiarize yourself with this page and this process, then you can definitely get yourself ready right before the launch. Now, the other big thing I kind of want to also talk to you guys about is testnet. So Richard Hart and his project team were brilliant as usual, and they launched a test net, which actually shows everyone, all these blocks getting approved and how Pulsechain is going to function. And basically, you can come over here and get free Pulse tokens. I believe I have some on my wallet right now. Let's see. I think it might be on this wallet. No, let's take a look at this wallet. Yes. So you can actually go to a free test Pulse wallet. Keep in mind, you will not be able to use this Pulse right when Pulsechain launches, but you can take this Pulse and send it around to other wallets and see what happens. And so, I'm gonna give it a try right now. So let's do this. So I'm gonna go over here. Oh, hit cancel. I'm gonna copy, and then I'm gonna come back to my other wallet. Hit send, do a command V. Let's do Maxaroo next. Oop, let's try that one more time. And let's just do 0.5. Hit confirm. So I just sent over my test pulse to, I believe it was my Ledger wallet, and there you go, right there. So if you guys want to come over here and just play around and take some of your test pulse and just send it to your wallets and see if it actually works, that was actually pretty fast. I think that was about 3 to 5 seconds. Definitely utilize that. You can also come down here and look at where the wallets are sending to and from. I think my wallet should pop up somewhere right around here since I just sent one over. Definitely a very, very cool project you can take advantage of. I believe we're in testnet 2, and we're going to have a launch of testnet 3. And then once testnet 3 launches, I believe the development team is going to do another run through, check out the code, make sure there's not any issues. The idea of having so many phases to this project is so that the project team can work out most of the kinks before the launch, and it basically reduces the amount of work or time they have to do to work out any issues while the chain is up and running. Because if you have issues when the blockchain is up and running, then you're going to decrease investor confidence, and you're going to cause a lot of problems with the price and whatnot. And you always got those people that think the most overhyped projects are going to fail. So, but in this case, Pulsechain, we're definitely strong. We're an awesome community, and we're going to the freaking moon, and we're going to blow Ethereum out the water. Just kidding. I like both. I like both projects. No hate towards Ethereum. They're both great blockchains, and we need both of them. So last thing I want to do is get into PulseX, and this is going to be the juiciest part of the video and my favorite part. So for those of you who have not heard of PulseX, PulseX is going to be one of the main decentralized exchanges on the Pulsechain. A decentralized exchange is something where you can go and basically exchange any token from another token within a blockchain. So for example, if I want to have the Polygon token on Pulsechain and swap it for Hex, I can do it through PulseX. Keep in mind, this is going to be P Polygon and P Hex. So just to be clear. Now, PulseX is going to take these same mechanics as Pulsechain, where a certain percentage of the gas fees is going to be used to pay validators, and another percentage, which I believe it's 25%, is going to be used to buy up the price and burn it to make it a truly deflationary token. There is going to be staking and there is going to be farming. And the farming component is the big thing I really, really want to talk to you guys about today, because I think this is going to be the hidden gem behind Pulsechain that's really going to make it stand out from all the other blockchains and all the other projects. And PulseX is going to be the gateway to all of this. So to kind of cover a little bit, our first video was how to sacrifice for the PulseX project. And if you have not gotten into it right now, you still have a little bit time left. The rate's kind of way up there. It's looking like you're gonna get 10,000 sacrifice points for every, I would say, $6.50. When our team invested and sent this over to the burn wallet, it started at about $1 for every 10,000 sacrifice points. So definitely, still a better rate. But if you are planning on trying to get into this pre-sale, definitely consider getting into it as soon as possible, because the rate goes up every single day at midnight. So, so far we have over $971 million sacrifice. Now, this is only for the Ethereum blockchain. I believe we've gone way past $1 billion, which is probably the largest crowdfunding ever. Keep in mind, this was not funded for anything. All this crypto was sent to a burn address. There's no expectations of that crypto being used for anything. This was a this was a statement to prove that humans have freedom of speech. They have the freedom of movement. There's a lot of wacky stuff going on nowadays, and this was a huge political statement within the crypto community that's actually starting to get picked up on the news. So it was definitely a very, very great cause, and I'm excited to say that I was a part of it. And I also want to congratulate anyone else who got into the Pulsechain sacrifice. Now, what I want to kind of do is kind of give you guys like a theoretical view of how PulseX is going to work at launch. And it's going to be very, very similar to one of my other favorite projects, like Uniswap and also PancakeSwap. So if we come over here to Richard Hart's Twitter, he actually had a little bit of a screenshot that said XPLX Pulse. And then you have an auto PLX, and you have a manual PLSX. Excuse me, an auto PLSX. Now, if you kind of look at how this is formatted, you have like the bounty, and then you have the same color scheme. This looks exactly like PancakeSwap, right when I saw it right off the bat. And so what kind of gets in my head is, he's definitely modeling the idea of PulseX off of PancakeSwap, even though it's a Uniswap fork. But I think what Richard Hart and the development team for the PulseX project is trying to do is basically create something way, way better than PancakeSwap, which is pretty awesome. And I think PancakeSwap, the price has dipped a little bit, but overall, it's been a pretty successful project and has really, really helped out the Binance Smart Chain. So one thing I want to kind of do is come over here to PancakeSwap. I want to check out these farming pools. And so if you come down here to earn, and you come down here to pools, you're going to see the auto cake and the manual cake, which is very similar to what we see here on this tweet. And one thing Richard was saying was watching PulseX.com dev test some features. I could see staking PulseX to get the incentive token, but not PulseX as there is no inflation. Testing is going well. So when you kind of take a look at PulseX right here, the idea is, it's supposed to be a deflationary token. So if you put into the staking pool and you're paid out in PulseX, it's not going to be really deflationary. It's going to be inflationary. And even though there's a little bit of a burn fee, you had to set the interest rate that you're going to get within the stake to a certain amount to incentivize more and more people to lock up their token, because the more people that lock up this token, the higher the price will go. So what I think the team is going to start to do is create, as he said in his tweet, and incentive token. So it's going to be a token that's going to be very, very different than PulseX. And this token is going to be something that can be exchanged in the market. It's going to have value, and it's going to incentivize you to stake your PulseX. So it's definitely a very new and revolutionary concept. And so kind of taking a stab at this, you have a auto PulseX stake. And I think how it's going to go is you're going to take your PulseX, stake it, and then you're going to get an incentive token. And with that incentive token, it's going to get restaked so that you increase your rewards over time. And that restaked incentive token is going to yield even more of that incentive token. So, the idea is you're taking one token and you're just increasing your value in another token exponentially. And so that's kind of like one theory behind it. I could be totally wrong. I'm just taking a complete shot at that. But, that auto stake is really, really nice because, most people don't like to come and log on to a page and withdraw their stake and put it back in. Sometimes you forget, it's a very, very convenient way on how to approach this new project. So definitely keep your eye out for that, and definitely very, very revolutionary. Now, the main thing I really want to come over to mention to you guys is the farm pools. Now, one thing that Richard was really talking about was, you're gonna have your ERC and your PRC 20 tokens for Pulsechain. And so basically what he wants to do is create some sort of farm where you can take an ERC 20 version of Shiba Inu, pair it with your PRC 20 of Shiba Inu, and use that to farm for Pulse or maybe that incentive token. I'm not really sure if it's going to be Pulse because, Pulse is going to be deflationary. So I think what he's going to do is create this nice incentive token that can be used and can be sold on the market to incentivize more and more people to lock up their tokens. And so when you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to see a massive, massive transfer of a lot of the ERC 20 tokens from the Ethereum blockchain to the Pulsechain blockchain. And when you see this huge wave of ERC 20 tokens come over, then you're going to see more and more projects want to basically convert over to Pulsechain, because the idea of Pulsechain is to take on some load so it can stabilize them on both blockchains. So if we come over here to coin market cap, oop, don't want to do that. We'll go to coin market cap, and let's take a little lookarooski. Filters. And let's go to the Ethereum blockchain. So I kind of want to bring this up right now and just kind of go over a few projects. So, for example, the Sandbox, very big metaverse and play to earn game. So the Sandbox is currently on the Ethereum blockchain, and you're going to be able to have tokens on the Pulse chain. And so once you start to see more and more like these ERC 20 tokens from the Sandbox move over to the Pulse chain, this is going to incentivize this game to also include some features from the Pulse chain. So you can definitely see a lot of the devs consider, hey, maybe we should have the Sandbox also run on the Pulse chain, because not only is our software there, a majority of our holders is moving on to this new blockchain, and it's going to really, really be a lot better and much quicker than the Ethereum blockchain. And then this can also be the case for Engine. And I think the other one was Decentraland. So yeah, so kind of want to give you guys the idea of that. So, coming back to Pulsechain, so when it comes to Richard Hart's projects, they're very fluid, they're really, really great, and they're very innovative, and they have a way of really blowing up and building huge, huge communities. Hex was one of those first projects that everybody called a scam, and it started off really, really small, and it grew to a point where the price like 10,000x in 2 years, and it's beating the crud out of the price appreciation of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So one thing I want to say is, when you look at a project like Pulsechain, they have PulseX where, it's incentivizing, ERC20 tokens to get paired up with PRC20 tokens to farm for a native token, or maybe it'll be Pulse or some other token. It also allows, projects to quickly convert over to Pulsechain because, the coding for each and every single one of these projects on the Ethereum blockchain is going to exist on Pulsechain, which is huge. It's never been done before, and not enough people are talking about it. So in my opinion, I believe Pulsechain is probably going to do something like a 10,000x in the first year. Not financial advice. This video is for education and entertainment purposes only. So when it comes to, preparing for this upcoming launch, definitely get all your ERC20 tokens to wallets that you hold the keys to. You'll definitely get an airdrop on every single wallet. Some wallets are going to take a little bit more time than others. I know, like, for example, Lipio wallet hasn't mentioned anything about adding Pulsechain yet, but sooner or later, they're going to add that blockchain to it. MetaMask is going to be right away. I know Treasure Wallet's going to have Pulsechain added to it right away. So a lot of these communities and a lot of these wallets are taking notice of this upcoming project launch. That's going to be a huge gorilla in this space. And also the other thing I want to mention is, the sacrifice for PulseX and Pulsechain is kind of late now. And so if you want to get into this project early, the best thing you can do is wait for the launch, take a look at the price, wait for price discovery, and then, you're going to see a massive sell-off because the price is going to skyrocket up and then it's going to sell off a little bit. And when it sells off, you're going to have the opportunity to definitely buy that dip. And when you buy that dip, that gives you the optimal opportunity to increase your buying power and also your ROI on your initial investment. So definitely keep that in mind. So with that being said, a little bit of longer video. I love this project. I definitely want to make sure I present it to the community here on the Verse Crypto channel. And I want to say, I hope you guys consider getting this project, not financial advice. And thank you so much for reviewing this video. I love every single one of you guys. Please hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and turn on bell notifications so we keep you guys up to date with the latest and greatest crypto projects in this space. My name's Chaos Chris. I'll see you guys in the next one.